Alright guys, hello. I want to show you a quick, not necessarily tutorial because this is kind of new to me as well, but I wanted to kind of give an update on that ISG memory module. Basically, this is it. It allows so that you stop pressing that button to turn off the auto hold, or ISG as they say, the idle stop and go. What it does, this stores the memory from the last time that you used the button. So it has dip switches to remember those. You can either have them all towards that where it remembers the module of the last button that you pushed, and also you can turn it on so that you don't ever have to worry about pressing the button or not. I specifically want it just so that the memory is going to test it, or I should take it back. I want it so that the memory remembers the last button that I pressed to test it, if that makes any sense. But I'm gonna go ahead and take apart the whole thing here. What you're supposed to do is take off the shift handle, which I looked up as some YouTube videos. I can link one up. I'll do one here myself just to kind of show you. I have not done this yet before, so it just makes it more easier, I guess, for me, since I know about electronics, that this will not necessarily cause any issues, you know, with defects. It may void warranty for whatever specific electronics you are using, but that's another reason why I want to have the auto hold memory stored in here, so it doesn't mess with any of that stuff. So if that makes sense, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. So if you guys see me struggling, I apologize. I have not opened it, and I'm trying to, you know, not mess with trying to break anything with the clips or not. So I've seen pictures of what this actually looks like. So apart from that, we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to splice these. It's only 4 cables, as you can see. So it's ground, power, and then these 2 are for the ISG and auto hold. Can't remember which ones, but there is a diagram where this comes with. It is from Shark Racing. They're from Korea, I believe. I ordered this like on a Monday and they shipped overnight from Korea, so it's pretty nice to get it right away. It costs like $100. So we'll go ahead and test everything to make sure it works. Go through the install, or you know what I mean, install and then test it. But it's very simple. Once we get everything disconnected, there is a little wire harness in here that we're gonna have to tap into, which requires those 4 wires to be connected into those pins. So it does have the number of pins in there for you to kind of go off this diagram. I'm not necessarily gonna splice into the cables. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use these T connectors, and I've used these before. These work great, and that just allows me so I don't splice cables or mess with any of that stuff. And what it'll do, it'll just, it's a T connector, you can kind of see there. I can't open that in, but the main line will be on here. This will be the main line here. We'll clamp it down, and there's little metal contacts in the middle there to allow the connection to be made. And then this is where I'm going to connect the necessary cables for that, so what is needed. So I tested it earlier just to kind of, you know, go through it. So I might have cheated a bit because I found a different way to do this without having to take this knob off, because I think that's the problem where a lot of people are going to be dealing with. That's probably the hardest part. So I did find another way around, which is if you open up your center console here, there's going to be this little plastic, which is part of the whole top of this. What I did was just kind of shimmer it around. There's a little lip here where it separates. If you just want to lift up, the whole thing comes off. So now I can't really lift it up higher than, you know, what it's intended to, because the shifter's in the way. So what I'm going to do is turn on the car, put it on drive, and I'm able to get under there, which is what I want, right? But the whole point of it now is to unhook the harness that's hooked up to this. So let's see if I can turn off the car. There we go. So I turn off the vehicle. I'm sorry for the beeping, but I gotta make sure that I can get under there. and get this wire harness detached. There we go. And somehow take it out. And let's see if I can work with this. Maybe I could take this harness off, but I think this should give me enough clearance to work with what I need to work with. Yeah. All right. So I did find a different way to do this boots where you don't have to pry it, right? So what I did is I lifted it up. Again, I put it in park. I got my foot on the brake. Put my emergency brake on just in case. So what I did is I reached under and I can feel these clips. There's clips here that hold this boot together. So you kind of see they're coming out. So just push them in. Push them in. There's a few on the front, on the side. There it is. So there we go. Now we're able to get that piece off, which is, you know, kind of what we want, right? And I'm gonna try to like move it down again without trying to like cut it or make any big mess here. Just push it back slowly, just so it doesn't get caught anywhere else. Now this is a simple process that could probably be very hard for someone, but if you shift it kind of slow like I did, we got this thing off. All right, let's put it in park and turn it off. So there it is. Now we're able to get some more leeway here to work with what we need to do the connecting parts of it. So yeah, excuse me, I had to go get some tools. I forget that you're gonna need parts from these T connectors. It's up to you if you're gonna want to be able to either slice it up or do whatever part is best, or if you're good at soldering and all that. And like I said, this is not necessarily where a lot of power is coming into, you know, that makes sense. It's not a high power device where it's going to damage the vehicle and all that, so it's just going to sit right there. The tools that I did recommend was the T connector, but able to get into the cable, it's kind of hard to press in it, so you're going to need some pliers. So the pliers are going to help, you know, break into the cable with pressure. So I'll show you here in a sec. And some scissors, which the closest ones I found was my daughter's scissors. I have no idea where my actual scissors are. So I use this to cut up some Velcro. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place it here, and I'm going to place it right here so I know it's there. As you can see, the module does come with a plastic wrap to protect it from, you know, water or whatever. So should be good. And these cables are a little too long, so if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to cut the desired length I want, because this be way too much cables if it was sitting down somewhere and it gets stuck, you know, putting it back in and mess with the wiring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this down first, and then go ahead and put the T connectors and just measure to see how much cable I'm going to need, and then cut it off and then connect it to the T connector. So yeah, anyway, so the one we're doing is pin 8. So I'll repeat the pins. So pin 1, which is red, and this matches it. So 4 pins again, or 4 cables. So that's red. That's the 12-volt power. And the second one is ground. So ground is black, and that is pin 14. And I what I did is I separated them out. You can kind of see there. I pushed out the ones that I'm gonna connect to. So there's that one. All right, so you can kind of tell how easy that process was. I do recommend that you leave these open. They do come in a little small package, which sometimes they do come, you know, closed or whatever. So I recommend you open both ends to do it. So what's nice is it's clear. So if you really wanted to look to see if it's making contact or if it did get into it, and from my point of view, it does look like it's the correct gauge clip or whatever you want to call it. So that's the thing you want to make sure it's making connection and it's not moving, sliding around and whatnot. So it's good. To me, that looks good. And you see me there using the pliers, so that's just to give it some reinforcement to make sure that they're connected. And you can double check them, which I'm gonna do now. I just don't overdo it because you might break them. So, oh, and I accidentally closed this clip. So go ahead and open this back up. Not breaking it. There we go. All right, and then now we're gonna go ahead. So you see me pull the Velcro on that. We can connect it now. If that's the case. If once we got all that, so we'll push that cable back in. Kind of see there. You see how I didn't have them all next to each other. You know, I did them. I crimped them in different locations, so that way there'd be enough space to give all this stuff some space and not be all crumbled up. So that's where we're going to, and I'm gonna go ahead and make the first cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with pin number 1. I'm gonna go this way and make you know, I'm kind of trying to determine where to put the cable, right? So I got to run it somehow where it's not in the way of anything else, so it doesn't get stuck in there. So looks like that one, and then I got to get my scissors, which fell right in the middle, which now I have to get from the back. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and my handy dandy scissors. So again, we're gonna measure here. We're gonna cut about that much. So what's cool, it's got these little inserts here where you can push the cable in. It's got like a little lock. I'll show you what the T connector does. And I'm hoping you can see it. So let's zoom in. So it's got this little slot here. There it is. So that's where I'll put the cable and then push it into the metal contacts there. So gotta grab my pliers, get them ready. So this is red. Again, we're doing red. Push it in that way. Push it in so we know we're gonna get contact. That's good. And then we're gonna crimp them hard there. There you go. Just triple check just to make sure they're good. Make sure the clips are in all the way so they don't come off. That's good to me. So we'll push this cable off to the side right now. Now we need the second cable. This works better. So that I know what I'm looking at. So we got the 12 volt, which again usually red. So we'll follow that. Just making sure everything's good. It's a whole different color. So this is an orange color. Now, I digress about following the cable colors because these are different colors. So we'll go ahead and put that here. Just temporary hold, just so I know they're there. And the last cable, which is an orange one, orange cable goes to pin number 8. Pin number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'd be that light green one. So that light green one. Put that there. All right. So there we go. I'm gonna go ahead one by one, just go through it all, and I'm gonna test it as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that once it's connected, I'll go ahead and turn off the auto mode. I'm gonna leave this off, and I'm gonna drive just around the block just to verify that it remembered the last setting. So again, these are the dip switches here. If you don't want to ever worry about it, you can turn these dip switches on. The manual will show you specifically which one you want, which pins or which dip switches to move, just to verify. 12 volts. So this is the bigger one. The font doesn't look as great, but this is 12 volt. This is ground. This is the auto hold, which is the green one, which is pin number 4. Go over here. Yep, pin number 4. Yep, and the last one is the ISG, which is the orange one, and that is pin 8. Pin 8. Yep. All right. So again, fast forward it to what I'm gonna do from previous. Alrighty, so what I'm gonna do now is drive around. Now I'm gonna have it off to the side again, so I can have access to the button. So once we turn on the car, we'll verify that everything's good. Okay. All right, so we turned it off. Use our brake here, and I'm gonna drive around. So stick around. I'm gonna try to find a spot here. Wonder if the device is getting any power, and there's a green light on there, so we know we got power. So we know this is working. So I'm assuming now I gotta mess with the dip switches. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go back home and make that change. So we don't have to go back home. We'll just park off to the side here. Turn off the vehicle just to, so we don't mess with the computer, with the car. So we're going to go over here and park. Turn it off. Open the door. So here, let's see, we're gonna go, there's a dip switch. So dip switch 1 off. So auto hold memory module. So we're gonna go ahead and turn the dip switch on, which is just a bump up here. Just kind of hard to get into, so ooh. There's dip switches again. You guys can't really, can you guys see one? It's a little tricky to get in there, but okay, dip switches 1 is on. Dip switch 2. Dip switch 2 is the ISG memory mode. Number 2 should be on, right? Let's turn on number 2. All right, so both of those are on, right? Okay. Yeah, both modules on, or both the dip switches on. And we'll see if this does anything. Go ahead and drive. There's power onto the device, so. All right. Oh, it automatically did it. So I didn't have to press that button. Maybe that's the route we're gonna go. So I'm just driving around just to verify that the vehicle won't turn off. So no, it's not gonna turn on or turn off, I should say, because that button is pressed now, right? So here we're coming to a stop, and I don't see nothing on the dashboard. Oh, what if we turn it off? Again, this is just to verify. We're going through the specific test we need to, just to verify that the module will work and do its job. So this is what the limited instructions that I have. And if you've still stuck around the video, thank you. I do a lot of modding and stuff like that for DJ equipment, so. All right, so we come to a stop. All right, the vehicle shut off. So let's turn this on. We're gonna go ahead, park, turn off the vehicle, open the door, just to, kind of reset it. Turn the vehicle back on. I can see the light is off at the moment, but what happened earlier is that whenever I went into drive, let's see, went to drive, did the button turn on by itself? Oh yeah, it did. You see that? Now, some of you guys saw that, right? The button did turn on. So I didn't no longer have to press that button. And that's the ultimate goal. I think it's working out so far. But again, we're testing it. And you did see that I did turn it off, right? I did turn it off before I turned it back on. So it's gonna automatically turn on from now on, which is cool. Again, we'll verify. We're gonna go ahead and park. We're gonna park somewhere here. We'll park. Yep. Vehicle hasn't turned off. So now if we press this button, go and drive around for a little bit. Come to a stop, maybe right here. We're turning. The vehicle turned off. Okay. Vehicle turned off. Turn vehicle off. Open door, pretend we're getting back in. Turn vehicle back on. Automatically, it doesn't come back on. So if you see this light off, it's okay. The module is doing its thinking whenever we drive. Or does it do it oh, yep. So you gotta wait certain seconds before it turns back on. Have you seen that? So I think it communicates to the wiring part of it. Tells it to see if it's on or off. So dip switch 1 and dip switch 2 need to be turned to on. It doesn't say what 3 and 4 does. So I would like to know. Maybe I'll email them and see if they can send me some more instructions. But you can kind of see some of the instructions are marked in Korean. Don't know what they mean. Can't use Google Translate or something because the font is a little tricky. But you can see there the light is on. So that means it's not ever going to do that again. And if I have issues, now I know that it's easier for me to take this apart without having to take the shifter now. Because this is what takes the longest. Again, we'll confirm. Get out. Here. Let's start a timer. Just to verify how long it's going to take. So I do have, well, you can't really see it. So we'll go right here. So we'll go stopwatch. So Ready? Here goes. Kind of see that? Ready? I'm gonna hit the start on the car and the timer. All right. Vehicle's on. See how many seconds that's gonna take for it to turn on. My screen's all dirty. Greasy hands. There you go. Close to 15 seconds. I wasn't paying attention. But I'd say it's close to 15 seconds once it realizes that that button's not on. And that's it, my friends. So I'm just gonna drive back home, put everything back. We'll go through this process as well with you just to show you what's easier. I don't think it took that much of a hard work because I've dealt with opening vehicles and working on vehicles and all that. So those T connectors do help a lot. I highly recommend them for the reason that you don't have to splice anything. Now, if for any warranty and all that, again, that just falls on you. If you're going to take the vehicle in, you got some type of issue, I recommend just disconnecting those T connectors and just leave it as, nothing touched them basically. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this all back. One thing I did forget was I was gonna grab some zip ties earlier. That was my bad. So I'm just gonna zip tie these close to this cable just to keep them all together, right? So nothing messes with them. It just looks a little bit more professional in a sort of way. So stick around and see the process of putting all this stuff back. All right, and that's that. Everything's put back into place and it seems to work just fine. As you can see, everything just slid back into its place. Just got to be careful with this knob. I did kind of scratch it a bit, but with a heat gun it'll fix those little scratches or whatever. It's not a big deal, but overall I think it's an easy install if you know what you're doing and you follow these steps. I apologize if I was out of order. Again, I get excited about doing these things and I want to record the process. And along the way, I did encounter some problems, but if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can either leave a comment or send me an email or whatever the case may be, but hope this helps out. So no more of this stupid button pushing, which is, I'm glad. Worth the $100 if you tell me. But otherwise, that's it. So thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye.